Number 1. In this question, you will be asked to talk about a familiar topic. After you hear the question, you will have 15 seconds to prepare your response and 45 seconds to speak. Talk about a photograph or painting you have seen that was memorable. Explain what you liked or disliked about it.
Please prepare your answer after the beep. Please begin speaking after the beep.
The most important painting that I've ever seen is that of Monet, Claude Monet. The reason is that I was interested in poetic image, and I thought that the tower written by him describes such an image. It was very difficult to understand such an image because the detail of the painting was very ambiguous and it was really poetic. So it is not a clear idea in the tower, but it was fantastic.
Number 2. In this question, you will be asked to give your opinion about a familiar topic. After you hear the question, you will have 15 seconds to prepare your response and 45 seconds to speak. Some people have one career throughout their lives. Other people do different kinds of work at different points in their lives. Which do you think is better? Explain why.
Please prepare your answer after the beep. Please begin speaking after the beep.
I personally think that people should concentrate on one career in their life. The reason is that it is difficult to become a professional or not to be layman. But if they can concentrate on one thing, they will be able to be a great person on the field. For example, I'm a composer and I'm composing every day. And thanks to this effort, I could become a composer. If I did many things, it will not be possible.
Number 3. In this question, you will read a short passage about a campus situation and then listen to a talk on the same topic. You will then answer a question using information from both the reading passage and the talk. After the question, you will have 30 seconds to prepare your response and 60 seconds to speak. Now read a letter that a student has written to the university
History
newspaper.
seminars should be
You have
shorter.
50 seconds to
Currently,
read the
all
letter.
the series across
Begin
the
reading
history
now.
department are 3 hours long. I would like to propose that the history seminars be shortened to 2 hours. I make this proposal for 2 reasons. First, most students just cannot concentrate for 3 hours straight. I myself have taken these 3-hour seminars and found them tiring and sometimes boring. Also, when the seminar lasts that long, people stop concentrating and stop learning, so the third hour of a 3-hour seminar is a waste of everyone. 2-hour seminars would be much more efficient.
Now listen to 2 students discussing the letter.
I totally disagree with Tim's proposal.
Why?
Well, look, Tim's my friend, but he's not your typical student. He stays up late partying every night, weeknights too.
If he parties every night, no wonder he can't pay attention.
Yes, and most students aren't like that. They come to class prepared and rested, and they can concentrate.
So you're saying the problem is really Tim?
Yes, he was in one of my classes last year, and whenever I looked at him, he was actually sleeping.
I guess if he's sleeping, he can't really know what's happening, what other people in class are doing.
Right. And you want to know what does happen in that last hour of seminar? In a lot of seminars that I've been in, that's when things get interesting.
Really?
Yes, that's usually when students get really involved in the discussion and start exchanging important ideas. And if the history department actually did what Tim suggests, well, if they did that, what would happen is you'd lose what might be the most worthwhile part of a seminar.
The woman expresses her opinion about the proposal that her friend Tim made in his letter to the newspaper. State her opinion about his proposal and explain the reason she gives for her opinion.
Please prepare your answer after the beep. Please begin speaking after the beep.
In the reading passage, Tim made a letter to express disagreement with long history course, 3 hours course. But the woman disagreed with the letter because she thinks that the course is very interesting. Meanwhile, Tim describes that this course is very boring. And another reason is that she knows that Tim is always sleeping in other classes. And another reason is that students can concentrate on this long course. Though Tim describes that the student cannot concentrate on all this class.
Number 4. In this question, you will read a short passage on an academic subject and then listen to a talk on the same topic. You will then answer a question using information from both the reading passage and the talk. After the question, you will have 30 seconds to prepare your response and 60 seconds to speak. You have 45 seconds to read a passage from a psychology textbook. Begin reading now.
And implicit memories. In everyday life, when people speak of memory, they are almost always speaking about what psychologists would call explicit memories. And explicit memory is a conscious or intentional recollection, usually of facts, names, events, or other things that a person can state or declare. There is another kind of memory that is not conscious. Memories of kind are called implicit memories. An individual can have an experience that he or she cannot consciously recall yet, still display reactions that indicates the experience has been somehow recorded in his or her brain.
Now listen to part of a lecture on this topic in a psychology class.
Okay, the first kind of memory, we're all very familiar with this, right? You probably remember what you had for dinner last night. You have a conscious memory of last night's dinner. So if I ask you, what did you eat last night, you could tell me. But these other kind of memories, implicit memories, they work differently. Let's take an example from the world of advertising. When you're driving along a highway, you see plenty of billboards, roadside advertisements. You certainly don't remember them all, but they still affect you. Marketing researchers have shown, well, to be specific, let's say there's a billboard on the highway advertising a car called the Panther. The ad shows a big picture of the car, and above the car in huge letters, is the name of the car, Panther. A lot of people drive by the billboard. But ask those drivers later if they saw any advertisements for cars, and, well, they'll think about it, and a lot of them will say no. They honestly don't remember seeing any. They have no conscious memory of the Panther billboard. So you ask these same people a different question. You ask, you ask them to name an animal starting with the letter P. What do you think they'll answer? Do they say pig? Pig is the most common animal that starts with the letter P. But they don't say pig. They say panther. The billboard had an effect, even though the drivers don't remember ever seeing it.
Using the example of the car advertisement, explain what is meant by implicit memory.
Please prepare your answer after the beep.
아, 그러면서